All right, we are here for another day and another dollar, honey. So I'm Teresa Penix Brown, and today I'm doing what I'm calling like a little give it challenge. And I started that yesterday because I felt like I needed to personally challenge myself to just do more. And I said that earlier in the year, but now I'm like, okay, you know what? We're going to do it at least for the rest of October. So each morning, the rest of October at 10 a.m. we're going to go ahead and literally give it to the people. But what we're doing is a little bit different. We're actually answering your questions. So if you have questions, and if you want to have me do a subject matter, then all you need to do is DM me so that this way I can go ahead and take your subject matter and be able to answer it. So pretty much a question and answer. And hey, Marvis, I see you there. I saw you last night. Thanks so much for joining us last night. I appreciate that. Got to give you a call. All right. So, and good morning to everybody else too, right? Amber Spider, hey girl, I see you. I saw your message too. So this is definitely something that I know that you're interested in, because a lot of people are talking about how to phase out of their day job and to become a full-time entrepreneur. So this is the first thing. Being full-time means that, you got to cover everything. So my first thing to you is what those bills look like. I mean, honestly. So when you think about what your personal bills look like and you think about how much money you need to make, that's the first thing to think about covering. Now, for me, I like to look at being able to try to cover things for 3 months. How many months? 1, 2, 3. And you know why? Because we're on the 90-day focus. So that 90-day time period, if you have enough that's saved up for that good rent or that mortgage, those good bills, because they're going to come back, I want you to think about anything that you need to pay or can pay that's on an annual basis. So things like cable, things like your cell phone bill, whatever those things are where you can just kind of knock them out, then that makes things a lot easier. So last year in the pandemic, what we decided to do was to focus on the things that we could control. And see, that's the issue. Everybody wants to, you want to leave work. You want to do what you want to do, right? Sheila, don't even worry about it, girl. You can always watch on the replay, okay? She said she can't hear because she's at work, but she definitely wants to jump in. But don't worry about it. We're going to go ahead and it'll be on the replay. So the thing that you have to look at is, for us, when we said, okay, well, what's going on with the pandemic? What could we control? And the thing is, you can control a lot. What is going on? I got the tears coming out. I don't know. Something's going on with my eyes this morning. But you can control certain bills, right? So even when you think about it in a business thing, there are certain things that you know what the cost is going to be each month. So if you look at it from that perspective and you say, okay, I know my cell phone bill is this, I know my such and such bill is whatever, then you know how much it is and you can pay those in 3 months, 6 months, and 1 year increments, okay? So that's one thing to look at, is how much are those bills, because those bills are not necessarily going to stop. But what it will do is if you can pay things in advance, in a way, it frees up the money that you have on a monthly basis to take that and then to put that into your business. So even if you can't go full time just to start, at least this way you can put that money aside, and now you'll be able to start the side hustle, or you'll be able to take that money that you would normally spend on a monthly basis and put that into the business. Okay. So that's how I look at things, because when you start a business, you're not going to be making as much money at first, and you just have to know that. But it can pay a bill, all right? So when I'm saying it can pay a bill, it can pay a bill, and you need to look at your bills. Now, that's one way to do it, and that's the way that I did it, because I'm just like, okay, even when I first started, and that was like 2008, it was like, let's go ahead and put money aside and save some money, but then also look at, well, what do you need to take care of? So I told people, if you heard me before, I've never been a super saver. I'm gonna be honest with you. Okay. I'm not like the money burns a pocket and, a hole in my pocket kind of person either, but I'm also like, look, to me, it's still saving, because I'd rather take that money and allocate it and spend it on something so that it's done. And now I don't need to worry about it anymore. Right. So it's kind of saving, but it's not, because you're still paying the bill, but you don't have to think about it like that. So if you have insurance, those kind of things. But The other thing for you to do is to look at what you can cut back on. So even this year, last month, I believe it was, I went ahead and I cut out $240 some worth of cost that I was spending on my business because I felt like I could downgrade on some things I wasn't using, and some things just weren't necessary. So go through all of the things that you have, eliminate whatever you can, reduce whatever you need to, because what's going to happen is when you start the business, there are going to be costs for the business that you don't have now if you're not in business. All right. So you have to look at that. So if you think about it like this, I have more than one website. The websites have to have a domain, and the websites need the hosting, right? So with that, each website is its own individual contained thing, and it each has a fee. Now, even though, yes, technically it's kind of like, okay, you have this business and then you have an entity that's a part of it, but it's just, you know, the way that you do certain things. So it allows for you to say, okay, well, this is how much this part is costing, and so I want to recoup that. So if I'm going to spend on a new business, on a new idea or concept, right? Then that means that where's the money coming from? Okay. So until you start making it, you can just reduce what you have, sell some of the stuff that you have that's in your house that you don't need also. And that can be some of the things that you use to start this business, so that this way, this transition for you going from full-time employee to full-time, you know, business owner can happen. Okay. Now, the next thing that I like to look at, I have a class that's called Basics of Bookkeeping. So check the website at ladybusiness.com/events to see when the next bookkeeping class is coming up. But we go over all of the different things that you need to take into consideration for the bookkeeping of your business. And you really have to know how much it costs you to run the business. Some of you are spending too much money on products. Some of you are spending too much money on your clients. And when I say money on your clients, I more so mean the time that it's taking you to finish stuff. So if that means that you have to raise your prices because it's costing you more, you're going to have to do that. If gas is now over $3 a gallon and it used to be $2 and change, somebody's got to pay that dollar. I mean, I'm going to need the dollar to come from somewhere. Okay. So you have to kind of look at what it's really costing you to run your business. So when people say now, okay, well, how much is it an hour? The cost of what an hour is now is not what an hour was 2 years ago. It just can't be, right? And the thing is, you know, even for some people, I also look at the fact of a lot of the classes that I was doing were like 2-hour classes when I was in person. Now they're 1-hour webinars, but I still have stuff to maintain, right? So even though I don't have to drive to places, I still have webinar software that needs to be paid for. You still have lights. You still have bills that need to be taken care of. So you have to really look at what your costs are. And guess what? If people were used to paying you a certain rate before the vid happened, then they can still be used to paying you that rate. Or you can also consider, I think it's always a good thing that every year your prices increase. You learn more. You have more expertise. So it's the time to raise your prices. And what I see oftentimes is people have these jobs, right? And it's nothing wrong with the job, because everybody doesn't want to leave the job. The job has benefits for some people. Sometimes just the benefit is just money. Okay. It's not always some things. It's not always insurance. It's not always perks. It's not always the people that are there, but it's money. Okay. And so until you get to a comfortable place where you feel like, okay, well, I want to leave, then just don't leave yet. And I used to be one of those people that's like, girl, honey, just go ahead and leave. No, figure out what you need to do and then take it and then go ahead and leave. Now, I do want to say this though. If your job is causing you undue stress because of mental health reasons, I think that it's a good idea that you leave that job. But I also think that it's a good idea that you have a plan when you leave that job. So anything that you have saved, cutting back on those bills, and then having that business in place does make sense to me. And I'm not just telling you to go out and quit your job today. I'm not saying that. I'm saying, is there a plan in place for you to be able to do that? Because the reason that we're even doing this live stream today, there was a young lady that contacted me. So I want to say hey to NB Creative Studio, because she's the one who suggested this topic. And she's like, well, listen, I'm at my job and I have a son and I send money back home to help my family. And I don't have anybody else to help me here. And I have my business. And so she does video production for people. So anybody needs video production, check out MB Creative Studio. And she said, you know, so I want to figure out how I can do that. And part of it is cutting back where you can cut back. Okay. The other part of it is saying, I need to look at what I'm charging people. And if I'm charging people too little, then I'm never going to get the value out of my business that I should. So you can make a determination on how much your pricing for your services and your products are going to be. And you have people that charge luxury prices. You have people that charge, bottom basement prices. But you need to understand how many clients or sales, depending on if you have a product or a service-based business, you really need to cover all of those bills for your personal self and to cover your costs for your business, okay? And then you can worry about paying yourself afterwards. But if your business right now could just take care of all of your bills, that's cool, but you still have life to live. There's still other things that need to be taken into consideration, like entertainment and, just in case an accident or something happens. So I need you to really look at that, right? So when you're talking about leaving, I don't think leaving is the problem. I think the plan on leaving is where people get it messed up, right? So it sounds good to leave, and that's great. Leave when you need to, but just look at your money situation, because if you are just starting this business, it doesn't make sense for me to tell you to leave right now if you don't have any money and you have no connections and you have no way where if this is definitely going to be a proven thing that's going to be successful. So this is what I want you to do. Now here's the answer. This is the meat and potatoes. I need you to look at your skills, because this business that you want to start is more than likely a passion-driven thing, right? But that passion is really great. It's the flowers, it's the rainbows, it's all the pretty shit. The issue is you have a skill set already, and you need to look at selling the skill set, because that's really where the side hustle is. So whatever you already have education-wise, whatever you already do really well, when you start to look at your skill set, the things that you're good at, those are the things that then you can transfer into something that really makes you money. And then you can still do the passion side of the business, as another avenue, right? So if people always come to you and ask you questions all the time, you are a resource type person, which means maybe you write an ebook and you start selling that ebook. If you are the type of person who can train somebody on doing something, then maybe you do some webinars or you do some audio-based kind of training, and then this way people can buy that skill set. Or if you're the type of person where you can do some type of service where you do, maybe some consulting, then you do that and you charge an hourly rate, okay? But you may also be the type of person who's really great with organization, who could do some virtual assistant type stuff for people online. If you go to, and I'm going to give you some resources, thumbtack.com, if you go to upwork.com and you start to look at the jobs that are out there, you can see what people are actually charging, and then you can make an assessment to say, okay, I think that's something that I could do. So I'm going to give you just an example from my real life. So there are things that I do in my real life that would make life easier for somebody else. And because Chisa is transitioning to wanting to be, and she is, I'm not even going to say that, but I mean, you got to always kind of put yourself in the future version. I just want to do my podcasting full time, right? Now, we already have the business part of thing, training people. Love that. Love it. Always loved it. And I don't plan on retiring. I'm just going to be honest with you. I'm going to be one of them old ladies that's still dropping knowledge. And, I'm going to be rubbing that Bengay or some ointment or something. Or maybe by then they got a patch that'll just heal everything. So I'm going to be one of those people. But that's because I love what I do, right? So if I said, okay, what are some things that I'm good at? What are some services that I can provide to people that don't take me out of my wheelhouse, but that I could do to make somebody else's life easier? So I looked online and I looked to see about doing some transcription services, right? And transcription is basically you taking this voice and then you writing out the words so that this way people know what you said. Now, this is great for people who can't hear. This is also great for people who want to use captions in their videos, all of that type of stuff, right? And for people who also may want to take their words and they may want to make it a blog. So I'm just giving you this as a real life example. So I looked online to see how much people were charging for this service, and I found some different types of people who needed the service that I know that I can provide with excellence. I know that I can put things into a certain capacity, and also with a turnaround time that fits the expectation of whoever the prospective client would be. So then you just find that skill set that you have and you submit it and you make that whatever it is for your business. So whatever you're doing at your day job, you're probably really good at it because they haven't fired you yet. Okay? I'm sorry, but you're probably really good at it, right? They didn't fire you yet. So take that and look at that specific skill and hone into the individual pieces of things that you can do. Somebody just needs that piece. They just need that piece. So put yourself out there as and they call it the gig economy. Put yourself out there as one of those people who can provide that service. That one service that you do could be all of a sudden something amazing. Now, let me flip it. Y'all ready for the flip? I'm about to give it to y'all. I know oh, here go my baby. Because I was like, where is Tammy? Woo, let's get ready for the flip. Okay? So look, this the flip. The flip is, I'm about to tell you how to really do it. Go ahead and make you a nice little one-page landing page website. Tell people what you do on that website, okay? Give them a button to either click to pay you for that service or a button to click to book your time for that service that you're providing, okay? And you need to describe it and tell people what it is. And then you start marketing that. And you market that service, okay? The one thing that you're doing. Now, could you do some other shit? Yes, you could do some other shit, okay? But what's the one thing that you know that you're really good at that then you can focus on and then you can build on that? You might find that that skill set that you have is worth even more than whatever business you were planning on creating, okay? So I'm just telling you, this is how I'm gonna drop it on y'all. Come back tomorrow. And let me tell you, you need to send me a topic. So what I want you to do is send me a DM. Tell me what you want me to talk about and drop on you tomorrow. And I'm also going to say this. If you want me to put a plan together for you so you can get the fuck out of that job, then I suggest you go ahead and book a session. Now I'm going to tell you now, sessions is not cheap. It's $150 for the hour. But when I put the session together for you and I tell you exactly what you need to do so you can leave that job, so you can phase out of that day job, and then you do it, you're going to be glad that you spent that $150. I'm just telling you. I'm just saying. So you can book a session at the link in my bio if you choose to. If you don't choose to, then just keep coming to the free classes, honey. You don't have to worry about it. You might not have it right now. If you don't have it right now, then don't worry about it. But let me tell you something. If you don't have it right now, when you going to get it? That's really what the question is. When you going to get it? All right? Now, Sunday, we're doing Keep That Same Energy. And so this is to help you if you need to get yourself together. You need to do that meditation. You need to find out how to do it if you have mental health issues, anxiety, depression, all of that. So Sunday, go ahead and book the link in the bio. Then the Give It to the People Summit is on January 7th, okay? So visit www.giveittothepeople.com for that. Go to ladybusiness.com for whatever else you feel like you need and check the link in the bio. Make sure you always show up and show out and continue to give it to the people.